Good morning from the National Weather Service here in Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm meteorologist James Morrow with your weekly impact weather briefing for the time period of today, August 26th through September 1st, 2019. If you're tuning in after August 26th, I highly recommend going to weather.gov/Raleigh for the latest weather information. As we know, weather often changes very quickly, and for the latest information, feel free to go to our website. All right, so let's get going with the briefing. Taking a look at the visible satellite this morning, we have a lot to look at going on. First, we have a disturbance which will eventually become our next cold front as it's coming from west to east, likely to arrive midweek. So we're thinking Wednesday afternoon time frame. We also have an area of low pressure just off into the southeastern coast in the Gulf Stream right now. That's starting to look a little bit better organized this morning. You can see some broad rotation here in the visible satellite imagery with some thunderstorm activity going on the right side of the cyclone. This National Hurricane Center continues to indicate a pretty high likelihood of tropical formation in this area. Perhaps in the next 2 days. So it wouldn't be surprised if you see a tropical depression named in the next day or two, and eventually maybe even Tropical Storm Erin, E-R-I-N, forming in the Atlantic. Either way, whether it forms or not, we're not going to see any appreciable impacts here. You could have some high surf along the eastern coast of North Carolina, but in general, we're looking at very few direct impacts from this tropical system as we go forward. But there is some other tropical systems brewing a little bit further out, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Another interesting feature that you can see is this little swirl here coming on shore across portions of North Carolina and southeastern Virginia. That is actually a area of low pressure or a weak wave that's kind of coming on shore, and that's going to help establish some of the cloud cover that we see today and help keep us a lot cooler than we normally are, like we've seen the last few days. So lots going on, and we'll go a little bit deeper here into the weather forecast this week. So in the next couple of days, we could have some showers around, light drizzle, especially in the morning time tomorrow. But right now we're looking at mostly dry conditions, cloudy, cool, maybe a little gloomy on occasion. But for the most part, we're looking at just some cooler conditions, at least for the next 2 days or so. Midweek, we do have a cold front that's going to approach the area. You can see this remnant low off the coast, this tropical low there. It should stay safely out to sea. And as the cold front passes, we'll actually have a little bit of thunderstorm activity overspread. I think your best chance of seeing some storms are going to be Wednesday afternoon and evening, and a few of which could be strong, but right now it's not looking like a huge severe weather outbreak. That front should pass safely through later in the week, allowing not necessarily cooler, but we're definitely going to have some drier, high pressure settle in. And our temperatures will return near normal. So we'll have some lower dew points, but temperatures will once again approach the 90-degree mark, at least across the triangle in south and east. So expect some mid-80s to low 90s late week into the weekend, when another front is going to stall nearby. This one should be mainly dry with not a lot of moisture in play as we go along through the week. So taking a look at your severe thunderstorm potential, it remains pretty low, especially today. We could have a few more storms about tomorrow, and especially on Wednesday as that front comes through. But right now, the severe threat on any of these days remains very low in just the general thunder category. The precipitation estimates echo the forecast we've been talking about. Not much chance across central North Carolina today, Tuesday, but we still see some at least light accumulations possible Wednesday, with drier high pressure settling in Thursday. Could see some storms and showers start to spread back in late in the day Sunday, but I think this may be a little bit overdone, especially across our area Saturday and Sunday, with your best chance of rain returning maybe Sunday afternoon and early next week. Even so, we're not looking at huge amounts of accumulations, only maybe a 0 to a ½ inch across most of the area, with a couple of bullseyes approaching 1 inch, but most should remain dry or relatively dry over the next 7 days. Taking a look ahead to early next week, we should remain near to slightly above normal for this time of year, and keep in mind normal is your mid to maybe upper 80s as you go south and east through the area. And precipitation chances maybe slightly above normal chances, that 33 contour going through us, but we should have equal chances of above or below normal. So expect kind of your normal afternoon thunderstorm chances, at least in early next week, as we once again get into a wetter weather pattern. So as I talked about a little bit earlier, tropics are starting to heat up now that we're in definitely the peak of the season, especially for us here in the Carolinas. That little disturbance we were looking at off the coast still has a high likelihood of becoming a tropical depression and eventually maybe a tropical storm over the next 2 days. They're at 80% chance of seeing that happen. And it should stay mainly and safely offshore as we progress, but we are keeping a distant eye on Dorian as it continues to meander west-northwest toward the Lesser Antilles. And we're expecting this track to be generally continuing in this direction, and it has a lot of land and a lot of mountains in this area that it could interact with. But in the next 7 days or so, we'll be closely monitoring this weakness and see if it tries to survive some of the warmer waters here and some of the impacts of the islands. And it could, very low chance at this point, but it could end up causing some impacts across somewhere in the United States. At this point, it is well too far out to be sure of specifics there. So we'll keep a close eye on that, a distant eye, but nothing to be concerned about as of now. And of course, for more information, go to hurricanes.gov or weather.gov/Raleigh/tropical. You can follow along with everything ongoing in the tropics. Quick look at the drought map. We actually saw a little bit in the way of improvement, especially across the eastern sandhills this last week. But in general, we still have some little slivers here of moderate drought persisting, especially across portions of Sampson County in the eastern sandhills in the area. For more information, just go to the Drought Monitor website. Just a quick summary: cloudy and cool conditions continue today and tomorrow. Storm chances increase on Wednesday with a cold front pushing through. We should have drier and warmer temperatures later in the week as high pressure settles in, with widespread shower activity holding off until next work week or maybe Sunday at the earliest. You'll see our percentages start inching up again Sunday and especially into Monday of next week. Tropics are becoming more active, but no current threats to inland North Carolina, and some drought improvement like we just talked about. So here's a quick look at your 7-day. Cooler temperatures the next few days, but a quick warm-up midweek as some sunshine will be allowed. Though sunshine may be lacking the next couple of days with just intermittent sunshine pockets, but for the most part, we should have full sun, especially Wednesday evening, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. That should allow us to warm up to near normal, if not slightly above normal for this time of year. At this point, I think I've gone over everything, and I'm happy to take any questions that you may